Welcome to Picks and Parlays here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. I'm your host, Nick Geber. Great to be with you. We're also streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Nick Geber. We have a huge show today. Massive show today. Every day is a massive show, but today maybe just that little bit more massive than usual. Today I'm going to be talking Premier League football with Al Ninos, our star capper. He and I are going to be talking Aston Villa at Southampton, Tottenham Hotspur, Chelsea, and Everton at Arsenal. But don't worry, folks, if you think this is all going to be about the Premier League, you're dead wrong, because Chicken Dinner Chirimbes will be joining me. Right after that, we're going to be talking NBA, Mavs and Sixers, Timberwolves, Nuggets, and a little college football bowls, because it is bowl season is almost here. We're going to be talking the Las Vegas Bowl and the New Orleans Bowl for you. And by the way, speaking of bowls, and there are bowls aplenty, we have a special for you right now on the website. Use promo code BOWL. Get 15% off everything you put in there. And right now, we have a very special offer. If you want to bet the bowls, choose any one of our 35 handicappers. And for $1.99, you can have every single one of their college bowl picks. But to make it a bit more interesting, we've decided to kick it up a notch. And for $2.99, you can have two handicappers and every one of their college bowl picks. So there's about 18,000 college bowls this season, so you get about 36,000 picks. Well, maybe not quite that many, but you know where I'm going here. Lots of picks, little money, big wins for you. Get online, picksandparlays.net. By the way, we're going to top it all off today with 14 minutes to build your bankroll. That's right, we're going to be doing our rapid fire segment. This time, we're going to be doing NFL rapid fire. I'll be joined by Craig El Guapo Trapp and Tony El Tigre Tellez. We'll be going through about 7 or 8 NFL games for you, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Remember, if you have time, because we're going to step aside, take a very brief, like less than 1 minute break or so here, go get a pen and paper. Be very helpful. But we'd love to hear from you during the show, and you could do that by writing in the comment box in any one of our social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or you can hashtag us, Parlay Radio, and our production team will see your comment right here in the studio, put it up on the screen, and I will respond to it, only if it's really rude. I've just decided to change it up a bit. All right, I'm going to take a break. I'll be back with Premier League football with Al Ninos. Well, we're back. Great to be with you. Premier League is back this weekend. Oh, thrilled for it. By the way, checked out the World Club Cup. Good stuff. My team, Liverpool, doing quite well. By the way, Monterrey put up a terrific game. In fact, both the World Club Cup semi-finals, I think, were much harder fought than people thought. Flamengo had a very, very tough game against Al Hilal and Liverpool, an equally as tough game against Monterrey, who really put up a good fight. But enough of that. Let's talk Premier League. Let's bring to the show a good friend of mine, star handicapper at picksandparlays.net, Al Ninos. Al, we've picked 3 really good games today, I think.
Yeah, 3 great games. I really like. Really looking forward to giving these picks out and betting them myself. So yeah, let's get to them.
You know, there are certain times. Look, I do Premier League preview on Fifth Street Soccer every Friday. I cover every game. There are some of these games that sort of curate because they look really good from a sports betting perspective. Not every weekend are there matches that look this good. Not every weekend are there clear favorites in plus money territory. We have that going today. Al, you and I have slightly different betting strategies, but I think the 3 matches that we've picked today, we are in unanimity. We could almost be in politics together, Al, because we've got it going here. Why don't we start, shall we? Let's start Everton-Arsenal. This one is at Goodison Park. Everton are so far unbeaten under interim manager Duncan Ferguson. They had that home win against Chelsea. They drew at Old Trafford, and they drew Leicester City in the Carabao, and they beat Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. And they drew Leicester City in the Carabao Cup. Ancelotti hasn't quite arrived yet at Goodison. He's on his way, and I think, it's either, we can talk about this briefly, but I mean, it's either is the manager, is this what he's worth now? Or is, when you're looking at Everton, is this what they're worth now? If you understand what I mean, depending on how you look at it. But look, Duncan Ferguson's bring a lot of renewed energy to the Toffees after Marco Silva. For Arsenal, what a disaster. Dumpster fire, train wreck, 10th in the league, 5-7-5. They only one win in 9. They're a defensive disaster, Al. Late goals, no soul. That's the way I think of Arsenal. Late goals, no soul. Mikel Arteta, though, the new manager, should be in charge. Not a particularly exciting appointment for me. I think Arsenal dead man walking. Al, Everton at home, plus 186 on the money line. Arsenal plus 143, the draw plus 272. How do you see this one?
Yeah, this should be, I mean, we're looking at 3 great games here. And yeah, I think Everton, to answer your question, I think it's been a bit of both. I think the new coach has done great for them. And as I said before that, I think they've always had like a good squad. So it's all coming together for them pretty nicely here. And I think they're in a good spot, and we're still getting some good value on them. And I like a few looks on this game too. So I like the over 3 goals here. I like Everton at a pick'em at minus 128, and I like the over. I do like. Unfortunately, I still think they have some problems in the back, so I do think Arsenal gets at least a goal here too. And I do like both teams to score in this game because obviously I think Everton's gonna outscore Arsenal.
Well, no, right, and I think that's a great. I think going with the over is the way to go on this one, Al, because Arsenal have no defense to speak of. They're very soft in the middle of the park too. They have some really good attacking options. We'll all agree on that. I mean, guys like Aubameyang, Lacazette. I mean, these are good players. Maybe there's got 4 good players on the team. The rest of them are pretty bloody awful. But, Everton have been underperforming horribly during the season. I mean, they're actually got a good squad with the likes of Richarlison as a great example on that squad. They're going to score goals. Maybe they're not as defensively fragile as you might think they are, Al. Duncan Ferguson instilling a little bit of verve and vigor in them. And, of course, Ancelotti's arrival. I think they're going to all be playing for a spot on the starting roster. They want to look good for one Italian gentleman when he comes. We agree on this one. Let's move along. Next game, shall we? I tell you what, this one to me is actually the easiest of the 3 games to pick. This is Tottenham versus Chelsea. This is at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham are 5th, Chelsea are 4th. Look, if Tottenham win this game, they will leapfrog Chelsea. They'll move into 4th spot. They'll move into those Champions League spots. Chelsea will drop down. Spurs, they've turned it around, though, under the special one, Jose Mourinho. As I said, the win here will leapfrog them. Look, they're 4-1 under Mourinho. I mean, it's that simple. They went from just horrible. They went from just a disaster waiting to happen, under Mauricio Pochettino, who was a great manager just way past his sell-by date. And they've just been on a roll since Mourinho came in. Chelsea, on the other hand, kind of in the opposite situation right now. I think Lampard had his early managerial bounce, but I think once that transfer ban got lifted, I think this sort of cohesion that these young players had, knowing that they would have the full season to work it out, I think that's gone by the wayside. And I think we're starting to see the wheels come off on the bus. They've lost 4 of the last 5, including last week's 1-0 home loss to the Cherries of all people. I think Lampard has reached the limits of this team. I like Spurs at home. You're going to take the pick'em. I'm going to take the money line. 154 for Spurs. Chelsea 177. Draw 262. Al, how do you see this one?
Yeah, again, Chelsea, they had their wins, but they're struggling lately, and Tottenham's really picked their play up. So much better form right now, and I think they got probably the best coach in the world too back them. So he'll be probably the one that's most eager to get this win against.
I'm sorry, did Jurgen Klopp move from Liverpool to Tottenham Hotspur?
No, not yet. Sorry.
Oh, you mean Mourinho? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the other guy, the other best coach in the world. The other best coach in the world. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, so I think he'll be the one looking forward to this game the most. Going up against his old team, and he'll be in a good spot here to get himself the win again. As you said, I'm going again for the safer option at a pick him, laying a bit of juice at minus 130. But I think we got the right side with Tottenham here. And worse again, it's a push on the draw, I think. But I really think Tottenham's going to get this one. So I can't blame you for going for the plus money. And again, I also like the over in this game. And I I kind of like both teams to score. Chelsea coming off that scoreless
What is the
loss
total
there.
on this one, though?
I got it at 3 minus 103.
Ooh, I don't know if I like the total, the over on this one.
That's where I'm leaning with it. I'm not playing the under here.
I might avoid
and
it. I tell you what, defensively, these teams are not that bad at all. And I don't know. I mean, Mourinho, he's a pretty defensive manager. I mean, he's known for a bit of a snooze fest out there, but getting it done. And Lampard's kids, yeah, they like to push forward, but defensively, Chelsea are not that bad. But okay, Al, you and I can disagree on that. You'll take the over.
We can disagree on one.
I'll pass on it. I just won't bet it. And I'm not sure it's going to be the under or the over. I think it's just to avoid. Money line. Go for the big payout. Okay, next up. This one I love, Al. This one I love. I love relegation 6-pointers because they're this is what differentiates the Premier League and global soccer from American sports in general. You've got two teams at the dead bottom of the league right now. Well, not quite. Villa 17th, Southampton 18th in a 20-team league. Obviously, 18, 19, and 20 will get thrown out of the league at the end of the season if they're still in that position. It's like musical chairs. So this is a relegation 6-pointer. Aston Villa do not want to lose to Southampton. They will go into the relegation zone if they do. Southampton, of course, want to beat Villa, get out of the zone. Villa under Dean Smith, they got a big 5-0 win over Liverpool's under-23 team in the Carabao Cup in midweek, of course, because Liverpool, the first team, was playing in Doha in the World Club Cup. We can talk about that another time. Villa 1-1-3 in the last 5, but their losses come to like Leicester, Chelsea, Sheffield, and they drew United, which was a great result for them. This is a critical run of fixtures for Villa, Al, because they want to get themselves well clear of the drop. They've got Southampton here, then they've got Norwich away at Carrow Road, and then they've got away at Watford. They need points. These 3 matches, there's 9 points for the taking. Villa, I think, a better team than any one of those 3. Southampton, well, looks like Hasenhüttl had turned it around, and then they had 2 losses in a row against West Ham and Newcastle. They're back in the drop. They're tied on points. Villa, better goal differential. I'm taking Villa at home plus 118. Far away. You got a minute and a half.
Yeah, again, I'll have to agree with you there. But again, I'm going for the Pick'em minus 127. And again, this is the one I don't see many goals in. I like the under 3 goals in this one at minus 116.
All right.
And
well,
yeah,
I was mistaken, Al. We're out of time. Always a pleasure. Al Ninos. I'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the show, Picks and Parlays. Great to be with you. I'm Nick Geber. You can find me on Twitter at Nick Geber. Hope you're watching the show on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or you're listening on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network, where we are each and every weekday from 4 p.m. in the East, 1 p.m. on the left. Also broadcasting on the American Forces Network, iHeartRadio, TuneIn. Find us anywhere you want. By the way, if you missed any part of this show, you can obviously see the replays on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, but if you want to listen to it or download it while you're at the gym, working out, whatever you're doing, the Believe Podcast Network, BLEAV, that's where you'll find our podcast. All right, let's get to it, shall we? On this day, this very famous International Human Solidarity Day today, December the 20th. Chip Chirimbes, welcome to the show. But I must say, You can take International Solidarity Day, or you could have National Sangria Day. Which one would you rather have?
Solidarity.
How about Solidarity, and we'll all
Solidarity.
celebrate with some sangria?
That's a good way to go, Nick.
I like
There
it.
you go.
Yeah, I think
You're
it works.
covering all bases.
Exactly. Well, Chip, let's talk about, speaking of covering all bases, I love that. It's a great segue. Let's start with some NBA action, shall we? Let's start with the Timberwolves at the Nuggets. The Wolves 10-16, 9-16-1 against the spread. They lost the last 8 in a row, including that Wednesday's loss to the Pelicans, which was not great. They're 7-6 straight up and against the spread. Carl Anthony Towns, Jake Layman, Jarrett Culver, they're all out as well. Total over in 6 of the last 7. And the Nuggets 16-8. They've won 4 in a row, coming off that win over the Magic. They're 12-3 straight up, 7-7 against the spread at home. The points, though, gone under in 13 of the last 20. You've got one team. I mean, I like the Nuggets here, and they are 10-point home favorites. I didn't get the total. Did you get a total?
No, I didn't, because there's good reason to like the Nuggets here. I mean, not only have the Timberwolves lost 8 in a row.
You don't need a sangria to bring you to that.
But they haven't covered any of those 8 games, and they were an underdog in all of them. So this team has been kind of hapless, and here's Denver after having a rocky road trip come out now, and they've won their last 4. Nick, I don't see any other way to go there. I mean, you're playing at a mile high, and this team has been absolutely terrible. I mean, to lose 8 straight consecutive against the number, I think in recent times, I only remember San Antonio. Have I lost my mic?
No, we're going to. Apparently, I'm being told to move it up higher. There
See if I had an apron. And if the only last time I remember a team having this bad a streak where they lost every single game was San Antonio Spurs, and they actually had lost 12 in a row. But I can't take the Timberwolves, Nick, until they can win a game, when they can sit there, or at least cover a spread. I mean, they just don't come to play night in and night out. And Denver has much too much firepower. I like the Nuggets as well as you.
Well, I mean, they're 9-16-1 against the spread.
Well, like we said, I mean, here do you have, Denver's under 500. I think 11-12 against the number themselves.
12-12.
12-12.
Yeah.
And so I just don't know how you can justify taking the Timberwolves here. I really don't.
With you.
So I wouldn't play this game. I wouldn't give it out, and I wouldn't give it either side.
So avoid it like the plague.
If you bet this game, you deserve it.
Okay. All right, I'll go with that. Let me just have a sip of this sangria
go
here
ahead.
on National Sangria Day. That's good stuff. Okay, next up, Mavs at Sixers. The Mavs 18-9. By the way, 2 teams with nice records playing here.
Great
the
ball
Mavs
clubs.
18-9, 16-11 against the spread, coming off a loss to the Celtics. They're 10-2 straight up, 10-2 against the spread away from home. Seth Curry, DeLon Wright, they will join Luka Doncic in the no-play department, which is a problem.
Right.
They're 5-2 against the spread in the last 7, and obviously that's why I think the Sixers are such big favorites here, but we're going to talk about that in a second.
Sure.
20-9 for the Sixers. They lost to Miami. That marked only their second defeat in a row, which was a bit surprising, actually, Chip. They're 14-1 straight up, 7-8 against the spread at home. They're 4-6 versus the Mavericks in the last 10. Under in 4 of the last 5. So 2 questions for you, Chip.
Go ahead.
2 questions. Number one, what's going on with the Sixers? 2 losses in a row. It's a bit of a surprise. Right. Number 2 is these injuries. How are they going to play to the Mavs? I mean, how's that going to affect? Doncic has been out for a while. We get that.
Okay, let me start with Philadelphia.
Go.
All right, here you have a club that's 13-2 at home. And they've been riled up by Charles Barkley and the media getting on Joel Embiid, who we have said he can be the most dominant player in the league when he wants to.
Oh, no way.
Right. So they challenged him, and he came out, and he dominated against the Boston Celtics. We had it here as a big winner, and then he goes right back into the tank the next 2 games. Now, they get beat at home by Miami outright, and they were never really in the game. Miami dominated that play. Very underrated team, Nick. This Miami Heat club, by the way. And Philadelphia still at 20-9 on the year and 12-14 and 3 against the points. They are coming to play against this Dallas team. They're going to like to beat up on a team that's injured. You have a team coming in here limping with Doncic being out and other injuries as well affecting the club. But listen to this, Nick. This Dallas team has been one of the best teams on the road in the NBA. They've covered 10 of their last 11 on the road against teams with winning percentage over 60%, which means when they come up to play big games on the road against the better teams, they get ready to play.
Yep.
They're 13-3 overall on the road and 21-8 in the last 29. It's hard to play against this team. They've covered at Philadelphia 5 of the 7 times they've played them, but there's that issue with Joel Embiid coming after losing 2 straight. I would take Philadelphia here. The line you said was 8.5, Nick, 7.5, 8.5, in around there. That's a big number for a team that's lost 2 in a row and for a team that just got humiliated at home by Miami Heat. I think Philadelphia is going to waylay this team, and maybe the Mavericks, with the Doncic being missing and the other injuries they have, will finally come to play. Into play, but I would take Philadelphia. I don't want Dallas in this game.
Mine are 8-point favorites.
That's a big favorite.
I think it's a big favorite. I mean, against an 18-9 team. I mean, that's a big
not only
favorite.
that, you've got a team that's 13-3 on the road, 10-1 on the road. So they're telling you. I think the odds makers are actually giving you an opportunity to take this.
Are we getting the hint?
Getting an opportunity to take Dallas plus the points here.
Yeah.
I won't do it.
Are you ready to take up some serpents?
Sure, why not?
Okay, let's talk about it. Let's get to college bowl season, which is here. We're going to cover 2 bowls for you today. Let's start and talk about the New Orleans Bowl. Appalachian State taking up them serpents, although they are the Mountaineers.
Yes, they're the Mountaineers.
Yeah, against UAB. Appalachian State 12-1. They had a great season, saw them clinch a Sun Belt championship, but also the departure of their head coach, who moved on to bigger and better things. Offense, though, is terrific, averaging 39.4 points
great
a game.
offense.
For UAB, this is a great story.
Go ahead.
Because this program was shut down in 2015, not for violations, not for drug problems, not for cheating.
Economic reasons.
Economic reasons. I mean, how often do you hear that, particularly with a Southern school? Almost never. That they look and say, well, we're going to cut the football program. But look, they returned in 2017, and they returned with a vengeance. They had kind of a mediocre season in their first season back, but 2018 they finished 11-1. I mean, they got they got the Conference USA Championship. This year, I love this story. This year, this is their 3rd bowl appearance. They're built on good, solid defense. Great. I'm enjoying this story with UAB a great deal.
So we have a clash of trends.
We do.
We have your
offensive
defense. Team averaging 39 points a game, and a team that's going to try and run the ball and keep it defensively. It is a great story that this team, this total football program, was disbanded, terminated in 2015 season and 16 season. Now they're coming off the Sun Belt Championship game, and Nick, they got absolutely crushed by Florida Atlantic. 49-6, and you might say, well, this only goes to show that they really haven't made it all the way back. They're not quite as strong as it might be, but
9-4.
They're 9-4.
Come on.
Not only that, Nick, but after a loss, they're 10-2-1 against the point. So it shows that after they get downtrodden, they get beat. They have that rebounding ability. The Blazers here, and this Eli Drinkwitz is his name. Drinkwitz, right? I mean, we should know this guy.
I know.
He was here less than a year.
Sounds like my accountant.
He leaves December 7th, December 9th to go to Missouri, and you can't blame him for taking the job. But Appalachian State, the Mountaineers, Nick, I bet against them. I bet 3 times this year against them each time, and I lost 2 of those games. In their one loss, I had the winner in that game. But they are 17-8 as a favorite. They're 22-8 to the over.
And they're almost 20-point favorites for this game. 19.5.
Right? Is it up that high?
Yeah, 19.5 point favorites.
I would only have one way to go. I can't lay those kind of points, particularly in a bowl game. Maybe the fact that the Blazers are inexperienced in this genre, where Appalachian State now is in the top 25. They're one of the FBS schools which are finally getting recognition. This is the team which years ago was Boise State. Right, and we'll be talking about Boise State later, but now everyone's starting to pay attention who they are. They put themselves on the map a couple of years ago by beating Michigan at Michigan, and people start saying, who is this team? And they are from West Virginia. This is Appalachian State. Big number. If they come out and crush, I'll be kind of surprised because of the defense that Alabama Birmingham plays and because of their ability to rebound after a loss, Nick. Like you said, 10-2-1.
So we're taking the under?
I would take Alabama Birmingham in the under. I wouldn't mind taking the points. I'd go either way with both of them.
All right, we just got a couple minutes left, and we do have one left to get to. Let's talk the Las Vegas Bowl. You talk about Boise State. They are playing Washington Huskies. Boise State, Mountain West champs. They may actually get to play this one as last year's First Responders Bowl, which they played, was canceled because of lightning. But there were probably a lot of first responders there, in case anyone was there, I would imagine. This is the number 14 scoring offense in the country. They have an 8 double-digit victories. They're 6-0 against the spread as a dog. And the Huskies, what a huge, disappointing season for the Huskies.
Very true.
Oh, my God, a choke-full season. Chris Peterson's final game right here. By the way, where did he coach before?
Well, that was
at Boise. I'm going to hand it over to you because we've got about a minute. So
okay, part of the storyline here is the fact that Chris Peterson was at Boise for 8 seasons, went 92-12 while he was there, which is absolutely fantastic, and gave him the job at Washington. Now, Washington, all they have left with a 7-5 record is to showcase Jacob Eason, the quarterback. They have dominated the Mountain West. This Boise State team, like you said, was 12-1 on the year, Nick, and the one loss was to BYU. That was one of our Megabuck releases earlier in the year. Brian Harsin, the coach who's been moved into the head position for Boise State, was Chris Peterson's assistant for 10 years, and he's not too happy about the matchup. He knows that Peterson knows everything that he knows and more.
They don't need to send spies over.
Right, exactly. This isn't the Patriots. We don't have to worry about them.
No cheating.
No, we didn't say that. But Boise has lost the last 4 meetings against the points against this club, and Boise is 5-1 in bowl games, 7-0 in their last 7 as dogs. Washington, a 3-point favorite. It seems not even ranked, favored over the ranked number 21st ranked Boise. I'll tell you what, Nick, you and I are going to this game on Saturday, and we're going to have ringside seats for the winner.
Right, Chip,
and if you just
10
log
seconds.
on. 3-game package for Saturday. It's logged right now. You can log on, get all of Saturday's winners for NFL and college football bowl action.
Chip Chirimbes, check him out, picksandparlays.net. I'll be right back. NFL Rapid Fire. Welcome back, Picks and Parlays, here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. Also streaming live, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Schmitter, Schmutter, Litter, Lutter, you know, we're everywhere. Whatever the newest one is, that's where we are. Because we're hip, trendy, and cool, and I'm Nick Geber. All of those 3 things. Okay, not really. But you can find me on Twitter, at Nick Geber, Nickgeber. I want to thank Chicken Dinner Chirimbes for the last segment. Great to have Chip with us. You can find his picks at picksandparlays.net, just like you can all of our handicappers. And just remember, if you want, we've got a special right now for the bowl season. That's right, one handicapper, $1.99 for all of their picks. But if you want 2 handicappers, it's $2.99 for all of their picks. And wait, there's more. If you want to bet more than just the bowls, you want to bet everything, well, you can do that. We've got an absolute special right now. 15% off everything you put in the shopping cart. Use promo code BOWL. Okay, let's get to it. Promised you 14 minutes to build your bankroll. Let's get right to it. Let's bring on some of our top bankroll builders, Craig El Guapo Trapp and Tony El Tigre Tellez. Tony, great to have you with us. Craig, great to have you. Let's talk some NFL, gentlemen. You ready?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, on the affirmative. Let's start, shall we? Let's start with the Chiefs against the Bears. The Chiefs 10-4, 9-5 against the spread, 4 wins in a row, including a 23-3 win over the Broncos. And the Bears 17-7, 4-10 against the spread. Lost to Green Bay on Sunday. That snapped a 3-game winner for them. Let's start with you, Tellez. Tigre, let's hear it.
Yes, sir. All right, we're going to take a look here at this contest with the Bears, the Sunday night contest. We're going to go here under a total of 44.5. Late December football in Chicago could be a little chilly. Don't see much precipitation in the forecast. But one thing I like here is the Chiefs' defense has really played well, holding teams 11 points a game over their past 4. Each game has gone under in that span. Of course, the Bears, they've gone under 9 of their 14 games this season. They've held only 13 points at Green Bay. Their offense really struggling, 26 in the league. While the defense is playing well, 7th overall. Now, the Bears will be without their wide receiver, Taylor Gabriel, with the concussion. Look at KC's defense. It's improved on 3rd down and in the red zone. I'm going to go under here with KC in Chicago.
All right, Guapo.
I wouldn't hate the under on that one, but I think the side is where I'm going to go in this one. I like the Chiefs here. Last week, of course, in the snow, had no problem with the cold weather. Chiefs absolutely were impressive. I think this Chiefs team has continued to get better as the season has gone on. I'm going to take the Chiefs -6 here. The Chiefs are 4-2 against the spread on the road this year, so they've gotten it done on the road for us bettors. And the Bears just 2-8 in the last 10 against the spread. So I'm going to go with the hotter team on the road here. Let's take the Kansas City Chiefs -6 here.
All right, Lions, Broncos, that's what's up next. The Lions got murdered last week against Tampa Bay. Lots of injuries. They've lost 7 of the last 8 straight up, and they're 10 of the last 11. The Broncos lost to KC 23-3 last outing. They don't have much offense, but then I guess Detroit doesn't have much defense either. So let's start with you. I got Denver -7, total 37.5. Trapp, you're up.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of surprised. Of course, this week we heard from management that they're going to bring back both the general manager and coach Matt Patricia after he's gotten worse each year. I mean, that was kind of surprising. I thought this Lions team, I guess maybe you could say Matt Stafford's injury kind of derailed the season, because the Lions, before that injury, played a lot of close games. But, I mean, since then, 2-8 against the spread in their last 10, and the Broncos are 7-3 against the spread in their last 10. So, I mean, as much as I don't love the way this Denver offense really plays, you have to take Denver here. This Lions team has really been miserable. Let's take Denver Broncos -7.
All right, Tony.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue there with that pick there. I'm going to go under total here of 37.5. I just think the Lions offense is going to have a hard time moving the football on this Broncos defense. David Blau, a third stringer there under center. You know, Lions averaging just 14 points and 296 yards over their past 3 games. The under is coming in 7 of 8 as a favorite for Denver. You know, Denver less than 300 yards average themselves over the past 3 games, but the defense has really steps up for Denver at home, holding opponents just 18 points a game. We're going to go ahead and go under here with Detroit and Denver.
All right, let's talk about the boys going to Philly by the Eagles. The Cowboys 7-7, 8-6 against the spread. The win against the Raiders snapped a 3-game loser for them. They're going to hope to clinch the NFC East with this game. Dak Prescott, question mark, due to what is rumored to be a hairline fracture in a finger somewhere. They're 3-4 straight up, 4-3 against the spread away. They've been over in 5 of the last 7, and the Eagles 7-7 late season run. A couple of come from behind wins. Season still in with a shout for the division, but they've gone under in 4 of the last 6 versus the Cowboys. Cowboys 2.5-point road favorites. We started, who did we go with? Trapp last time. Let's go with Tigray.
Yeah, this game, I like this game a lot. My best play for Sunday. Pick it up right now over at picksandparlays.net.
Oh, you horrible tease. How could you do that? You can find it in picksandparlays.net. And if you want this pick, you can get 15% off right now, which makes it even better. Okay, Trapp. Yeah, I know you're not hiding this one.
No, I like the Cowboys here. I think the Cowboys they looked really good last week. I thought that, I was bet against them last week when I was out there in Las Vegas. Not one of my top plays, but I just thought the Cowboys maybe had, Jason Garrett's problems late in the season when he needs to win games has always been a problem. But I think the Eagles are just going in the wrong direction. Just 2-5 against the spread at home this year. They lost to the Miami Dolphins. It's a hard bet to make this Eagles team when they're so desperate. But I'm going to take the Cowboys -1 here. I just think they at least are playing better recently.
Yeah, who stunk it up? Okay. Next up, Steelers, Jets. The Steelers 8-6, 7-5-2 against the spread, coming off a 17-10 home loss to the Bills. They've been under in the last 6 road games, and the Jets 5-8, 5-9 against the spread. They've yet to win against the AFC North opponents, but they did give the Bengals their only win. So I guess they get the Being Nice award and making everybody feel included. They're 13-16. 13 of the last 16 is an under against the Steelers. The Steelers 3-point favorites here, total 37. Craig.
Well, not only did the Jets let the Bengals get a win, they also let Miami Dolphins get their first win too. So, I mean, when you're the first team ever to allow an 0-8 team, two times in a season to allow an 0-8 team or more their first wins, I mean, that tells you how bad this Jets season is. But I still don't really like this
Craig.
side.
I mean, it's just
obviously
friendly, welcoming people.
But I think the better play is take the under here. This Steelers team has been very good on defense. 11-3 this year to the under, including 6 in a row. I think it's another low-scoring game here. Pittsburgh, they know they can't win with Duck Hodges just throwing it all around, so they have to run the ball and play toward their strength, which is their defense. Let's take the under 37 in an ugly Steelers close win.
Ugly, ugly, ugly. Tigray.
I'm with
your
Craig
ugly
there.
Tigray. We're talking about the Steelers. You're quite a magnificent looking
I got
man.
you.
Okay, take it away.
Yeah, I'm definitely with Craig here. Under total here of 37. The defense here, great form here for Pittsburgh, allowing just 15 points 258 yards over their past 3 games. And like Craig said, they have to win the game with defense. That means a lot of running the football, running clock, kind of playing that old school field position game. And of course, I think the Jets will struggle with their young quarterback here, trying to move that football on this really good defense here from Pittsburgh. And the Jets fans don't show up when the team's bad. You may see more Steeler fans here, and I think it'll help them here cover this, actually get this game under total here of 37.
Wow, sound like LA fans. Keep talking. Okay, next up, Giants, Redskins. The Giants snapped a 9-game losing streak against Miami. The Redskins covered 3 of the last 4, nearly, almost, not quite, but they didn't, but nearly upset the Eagles last week. Redskins, though, favorites, 1.5 point total, 41. T. Gray.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead here and take the Giants +2. It looks like Daniel Jones on his road to recovery. Not sure yet if he'll be ready, but the Giants, they've played well. 3 of 4 they've covered. They get a win at home to Miami, but Washington's 1-6 straight up at home. Failed to cover 5 of 7. They're favored in this game. There's no way I could take Washington here as a favorite. Remember, their first meeting in New York did beat Washington 24-3. The defense held their opponents to 23 points or fewer over their past 3. And of course, you look at red zone and third down numbers. They're terrible for Washington. At least the Giants a little better than that category. I'm going to go ahead and take the +2 with the Giants.
Greg, what say you?
I must be in a dream here. The Washington Redskins are favored against anybody. I mean, this Washington team, even last week, they had the cover for everybody. And then, one of the worst bad beats of all time. So I'm going to take the Giants here. Like Tony said, 24-3 the first matchup. I think Daniel Jones will get the start here. But if not, let's remember Eli Manning for his career is exactly 500. Imagine if he gets one more win, he can eke over that 500 mark for his whole career. That is a pretty amazing stat from a guy that has multiple Super Bowls that you're not over a 500. But either way, I like the Giants no matter who starts at quarterback. The 4-3 against the spread on the road. I think they win outright here, though.
No, outright win for the Giants. Okay, big call there. How about that? Even though the Redskins are the favorites. All right, nice one, Trapp. I like it. Finding some huevos rancheros there. Big one. Okay. Next up, Raiders at Chargers. The Raiders 6-8. They're on a 4-game losing streak, which includes blowing a 16-3 halftime lead and losing as a 6.5 point home favorite to the Jags on their final game at Oakland Stadium. You know why they did it? Because they love their fans so much. That's how they make sure they appreciate and are appreciated by their fans. And we get to look forward to that here in Las Vegas. They've been total under in 4 of the last 5. And the Chargers, well, they don't have any fans to irritate. So we'll just leave it at that. They're coming off a home loss to the Vikings. There's almost no home field advantages here whatsoever for the Chargers, as I said. Usually there's more visiting fans than home fans. They don't really have their own grounds, at least not this year. They're at what used to be the Home Depot Center, where I was at for Inauguration Day, I might say, of the stadium. Their total is over in 4 of the last 5 for the LA Chargers. And they're home favorites, or you can't call it home. Let's just say they're favorites at -6. Total 45.5. Let's start with you, T. Gray.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the points here with the Raiders +6. I saw some 7 someplace, so shop around for that number. Again, the Chargers are favored in their home stadium at the Depot Center there, at Soccer Stadium. It's not been a very good bet. 2-4 straight up, 0-4 straight up in ATS against the AFC West. That's terrible against the division. Remember, the Raiders did win that first meeting. They were able to move the ball on the Chargers. They at least have some momentum here, and I think they have a lot more to prove in this game. It was a disappointing loss. They've seen all the coverage here. They're coming to Vegas. They got to go to Vegas with some positive news here, and that road to recovery after that loss. Press the reset button, get a win here, and you'll feel a lot better about yourselves. I'll take the points here with Oakland.
Oh, they're coming to Vegas. The positive news is they've just increased the individual seat license price by 15%. Okay, Trapp, you're up.
I agree with Tony. We're been a lot of agreement here, so we're either going to crush them or it's going to be a bloodbath this week. But I like the Raiders. I think the Raiders have an absolute shot to win this outright. I've seen a lot of positive things with this Raiders team at times this year, but unfortunately has been inconsistent. But so has the Chargers. So why would you lay 7 points with Phillip Rivers is a turnover machine? Every time you turn around, he's throwing an interception. So let's take the Raiders plus the 7. We're even going to sprinkle a little money line in this one. I think Raiders win outright. Take the points, though, just in case.
What is the money line on the Raiders right now?
Probably about plus 250, I'm guessing. Maybe even plus 300.
I like money line plays, guys. You can see that do my Premier League stuff with Al Ninos. I love that money. It's a bit of a gamble, but, you know, hey, I'm in Vegas. What could I say? All right, gentlemen, those are our picks for our NFL Rapid Fire. We have 1 minute left. I want to find out from you, Trapp, what you've got up at picksandparlays.net right now.
Well, my actually game of the week this week is in the Cardinals at the Seahawks. I really like this one. My top play bookie blaster on Sunday, so make sure you get it $37.99 and use that 15% off promo code. Use that promo code BOWL. We also have those bowl specials up, $1.99 for one capper or $2.99 for any two cappers. Click on the premium picks tab, and underneath that, you'll click on the 2-for-1 builder.
By the way, just want to make sure that you understand that is for the 2-for-1 is for their bowl picks, because that's our bowl special.
Yep.
All right.
We also, under the 2-for-1, you also have, you can choose 7 days or 3 days, 7 days, or 30 days for all sports included. So we also have specials up daily, not just during bowl season.
All right. T. Gray, Trapp monopolized the time. You got 10 seconds. What's up for you there?
All right, I got my top play over at picksandparlays.net. Will be the Cowboys and Eagles game. Get it right now at picksandparlays.net.
All right, guys, thanks so much. That's our NFL Rapid Fire. Be sure to check out both Tony, LT Gray Tellez, and Craig El Wapo Trapp on the site. Don't worry if you missed any of these picks. I'll recap after the break. Well, welcome back, Picks and Parlays, as we wind down our December 20th International Human Solidarity Day and National Sangria Day show. It's been a good one. Lots of picks: Premier League, NBA, college bowls, NFL. Let's recap what we did. We started off, I spoke Premier League football with Al Ninos. Al says Everton, Arsenal, take Everton. He says take the Pick'em -128 and the over 3 -108, and both teams to score. Villa, Southampton, take Villa as the Pick'em -127, and Tottenham, Chelsea, another Pick'em -130. He's taken Tottenham for the Pick'em there, by the way. And over 3 for the -103, and both teams will score. A couple little prop bet for you there. For me, I'm simpler. Everton, Arsenal, I said take Everton on the money line, +186. Villa, Southampton, take Villa on the money line, +118. And Tottenham, Chelsea, take Tottenham Hotspur money line, +154. Lots of plus money for home favorites, for favorites, of whom most of them are at home. So you want to jump on that. All right. Then we did some NBA with Chip Chirimbes. Mavs at Sixers, take the Sixers -7.5. Wolves at Nuggets, take the Nuggets. I don't remember what we had there, but just take the Nuggets. And the bowl picks: Boise State, Washington, the Las Vegas Bowl. You can find it at picksandparlays.net. And Appalachian State versus UAB. Take UAB +17. All right, let's move along, shall we? By the way, that one was the New Orleans Bowl. Then we had NFL Rapid Fire. Craig, Chiefs at Bears, take the Chiefs -6. Raiders at Chargers, take the Raiders +7. And the Cowboys at Eagles, take the Cowboys -1.5. And finally, Tony T, Steelers at Jets, take the under of 37 points. Raiders at Chargers, take the Raiders +7. Cardinals at Seahawks, take the Cardinals +10. And his promo pick was the Cowboys at the Eagles. Pick it up now, picksandparlays.net. And as we were saying, got a special on there, 15% off. Use promo code GIFT. Was it GIFT? Promo code? Or BOWL. Excuse me. BOWL. Promo code BOWL. Silly me. And while we're talking bowls, we have our 2-for-1 bowl special. One cap of $1.99, 2 for $2.99. All right, that's going to wrap up the show. We'll be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific. Picks and parlays. Until then, bet, win, and repeat.